I find a lot of mysterious things in the forest, and one of them is right behind me. See this tree right here? Look at how the bark has been stripped off almost all the way to the top. It looks like some people would say a lightning strike, but there's no burnt, there's no signs of anything burnt, but they're stripped off. Look at the strips of bark just hanging from it. Luckily, we have a forester who understands these kinds of things. What happened to this tree?
This tree is a victim of bears.
Oops, wrong kind of bear. Here we go.
At a time of year when there's not a lot of food for them. Turns out the cambium, the living tissue right underneath the bark, is full of sugars and sap that bears like to eat when there's little other food out in the forest.
So they scrape off the bark and like lick it?
They lick it, they scrape it. You can even see, if you look really closely, all these parallel lines going up and down the tree.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
from claws and teeth of the bear.
Oh, interesting.
Digging in there and getting that cambium off so they can eat it up.
So you do restoration. So you fix forests like this one that have been clear cut once or twice and regrow way too thick. So they might all burn to the ground if we don't hurry up and thin them. But when you see stuff like this, are you glad you're seeing this, or what's, as a forester in a restoration project?
Well, it's a challenge, right? So as I said before, there's too many trees in here. So we do need to thin some trees out. So are the bears thinning the forest for us? Well, maybe, but it's not as simple as that. Like this tree, for example, it's almost completely dead, but look, there's a little strip here where it's still alive. So this tree is trying to recover. If we left it alone for long enough, would this heal back over and meet up with this living piece of the tree? Maybe the tree keeps growing and it's okay. And what's another characteristic of old growth forest is to have some dead and rotting wood. Some of these big redwoods will have big goose pins, big basal hollows on them. That's a natural part of an old growth forest, right? So is this the beginning of that? It could be. But the other thing that often happens is the tree is not able to grow very fast here, right? Because it's lost all this material. Even though redwood trees are actually very resistant to rot, this outer layer, the sapwood, is actually very vulnerable to rot. And look, I can even kind of pick at it with my finger there. So the tree is getting weak right here because of that sapwood rotting. Meanwhile, the top of the tree keeps growing, right? So it's getting taller and heavier up top with a weak point down below. So there's a good possibility that this tree, before it heals over, it's going to break off. Is it going to become a great wildlife tree with a basal hollow, or is it going to die? We can't be sure. So it makes it much more difficult to figure out how this is going to fit in to the future of this forest.
Do you try to prevent bears from doing this?
No, I think it's more we have to accept that bears are a natural part of this ecosystem, and this is what they do. So we have to adjust the way we thin forest to account for the damage that we're likely to get from bears.
So here in the parks, bears get the trees, they get the trees. We just don't pet them and we don't feed them. And one day there won't be a bunch of rapidly growing, once we get these forests established, they won't be growing so rapidly, so they won't be producing so much sap, and so they won't be so attractive to bears. So we just have to wait till we get there. And also you can donate to what we're doing and learn more about what we're doing by going to redwoodsrising.org.